So now it's time to learn how to add a guitar part. Now let me preface this by saying that I am probably the world's worst guitar player. Wasn't always that way, and in fact, just to prove it, here's a picture of me when I was a senior in high school playing guitar in a rock and roll band. That was many years ago, and I haven't played much since then. Back to the subject at hand, which is adding a guitar track. We're going to use the same Mary Had a Little Lamb that we recorded in the last episode, and we're going to add a guitar part. And how do we do that? We go down and we click the X to create new track. And instead of doing software instrument, we go to the right and click on electric guitar and click create. And it's going to give us something new and different here. It's going to show us, number one, it's going to be blue, the track that we just added. Number two, it's got a different little thing here. This is the monitor. It means you can turn it on. It's showing right now that it's lit up, so it's on. And we're going to leave it that way so we can hear what we're doing. If you go to the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see what appears to be a guitar amplifier. And it's called Clean Combo. Just so you'll know, I'm playing a hollow body Takamine that has an electric pickup on it. So actually it doesn't sound too bad, does it? Now, if we don't like the Clean Combo, if we want to click right here, it gives us a whole lot of different guitar sounds. For example, let's try Industrial Overdrive. Now, who knows what that is, but we'll try it. That's kind of overdriven, all right. And if you go on down, you can find a whole lot of other types of guitar sounds. Power punk. We're just going to continue that. Let's see. And of course, if you look at these, you'll see all of these have knobs on them down here, so you can change it to sound exactly like you want it to sound. I don't know what I want it to sound like, but for right now, we're going to go to, let's see, let's go back to classic blues and use that. So now I'm going to attempt to play Mary Had a Little Lamb on the guitar. So what we're going to do now is, number one, we're going to go back. We're going to make this track highlighted. We're going to go to Control, and we're going to turn the count in back on again. Since there's no intro, we want to know where to start. But we're not going to turn the metronome back on because we've got a pretty good beat going. We don't really need to hear the click. Second thing we're going to do is go to the tenor sax track and mute that so that we're not going to use that melody. We're going to use the one I'm about to record. And we'll see what happens here. It's been so long since I've used this instrument that the only guitar pick I could find is actually a credit card. So it's a little awkward, but I don't want to cut it up because I might need it someday. So here we go. We're going to try to record this. The guitar track is highlighted. I'm going to go click the red dot. And there you have Mary Had a Little Lamb on the guitar. I should have pointed out that the very first thing that you always do when you use a guitar or record a guitar track is go click, if you look at the bottom of the screen, right here, right now it looks like a little clock. We're going to click that, and you have some options. So it'll show either the time or the measures, or the most important thing for a guitar player is the tuner. I did this before we started, and you can see they're pretty much in tune. It's already blue, so it's well tuned. I know most of you are probably guitar players, so feel free to experiment with all of those different amplifiers and all of those different settings. That's one of the coolest parts of GarageBand. So play with it all you want to. Now we're going to add a real instrument, or in this case, since I don't have another instrument, a real vocal. I have this particular microphone is plugged into an M-Audio audio interface, which is connected to the USB port of this computer. That's also the way my guitar was plugged in a minute ago. And in order to put a vocal track down, we're going to click the X, and instead of software instrument or electric guitar, we're going to pick real instrument. We're going to click on that and click Create. It's yet another blue track. Real instruments are blue, software instruments are green. Now there's a few things we need to do before we really start recording vocals. I'm using a headset plugged into the headphone jack of my computer, so I don't have to worry about feedback. There's no sound coming out of my computer. So what we want to do is go all the way over here to the far right. The first thing you want to do is where it says monitor. Monitor is on. And then my input is actually Mono 2 in Fast Track Pro. So you want to turn that on. And as you can tell, it makes some really interesting sounds here. If you click effects, right now it has no effects on it, but we can add a bunch of different effects if we'd like to. This one's known as Celestial Spring. And then there's the Orion one. The well-known Lunar Bounce. Let's go back to no effects there. Let's go to vocals. We can use a number of things here.
Like such a helium breath.
Male basic, since that would be me. I tell you, let's change it to male R&B vocals. So it's time to sing a track. And while we're doing that, let's turn off the guitar track. And we'll just hear nothing but the vocal. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, her fleece was white as snow. Well, that wasn't the worst thing I've ever heard. Pretty close to it, but not quite. Let's turn the volume down on that a little bit and see if we can get that. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Okay, much better. Now, we're going to try something a little different here. As long as we've got that track highlighted, we're going to go up to track, and we're going to come down and hit duplicate track. Now what it's going to do is duplicate the parameters of the track, but not going to duplicate the actual recording. And we will need to go over and turn our monitor on so we can hear what we're doing. And then we're going to record another track. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, her fleece was white as snow. Before we listen to that, let's go back and let's pan the first one we did all the way to the left, and the second one we did all the way to the right. And then when you hear that played back, you get it, me, in both ears. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, her fleece was white as snow. And that's the way you record using software instruments, electric guitar, and real instruments or vocals.